In this week's running video, we're gonna go over my 4 favorite glute exercises that is very specific for running, as well as a running drill that will help you make the connection between your brain and the posterior chain of your body to help you decrease your chance for injury, as well as improve your performance. So the exercises that we're going to go over today are much different than other glute exercises you've likely been doing. So many people will start doing glute bridges, clamshells, and other floor-based exercises to improve their gluteal strength. And for some of you, that might be a great place to start. But you can also start incorporating some of the drills that we're going to go over today to make it a little bit more specific for running. So all you need for these exercises are some big glute bands that you can anchor to something sturdy, and then you're going to be using them around your waist and around your ankles. So for the first one, we're going to use a relatively thicker band. And you want to put the band right in front of the hips, right across the pelvic bones in the front. And you're going to walk out until you feel a bit of a tug from the band. So it wants to pull you into this slouch position. So what you want to do is actually let that happen. So this is basically poor running technique. You don't really want to do this while you're running. And what we're going to do now is we're going to dig our feet into the ground, and we're going to press our hips forward by pressing through the hips, extending the hips, and the goal is to feel a strong contraction through the glute muscles and a little bit into the hamstrings. So you're gonna sit back, ground your feet, and then you're gonna press your hips forward, strong contraction here. Sitting back, strong contraction. You're just gonna go in and out of this position to just start building this awareness and building the strength around the glutes here. If you need more resistance, walk forward, and it's gonna be a much more challenging exercise for you. Now, the next version is going to be a band resisted forward lunge. So when you do a forward lunge, the lead leg is going to be the working leg. That when the leg goes forward, it's going to absorb the force, so you're going to get a lot of quad activation. In this version, we're going to use the resistance band, so the back leg is actually going to be the working leg pushing our body forward. So just like before, we're gonna walk out so you get some resistance in the band. And from here, whichever leg you wanna start with, you're going to firmly plant your foot down, and then you're going to be squeezing through the hip and the hamstring to get the other leg to go forward. So going into lunge position, coming back. Lunge position, coming back. But you're not just letting your body weight go forward into the band, you're driving through the hip to increase the contraction here to go forward. Staying nice and upright through the torso, in and out, trying to maximize the amount of hip extension with each lunge. And you just go until you get some fatigue, should be around 10 repetitions, 15 repetitions on each leg. Now the third banded drill or exercise, you're going to use a lighter band and you're going to put it around your ankle. So step through, give yourself another loop, step through again. Now, I'm going to use these PVC pipes for a little bit of stability. So if you have hiking poles or PVC pipes, that works great. Once you get used to it, you won't need these for help with balance, but starting off, this is a good place to start. So this is a drill that I showed in my hip flexor video, which I'll put in the corner up here. But in that video, I was emphasizing the hip flexion to improve hip flexion strength. But to do this exercise successfully, the stance leg has to work effectively to stabilize this leg to allow your hip flexors to work properly. So you're gonna take a step forward, let the band pull the leg back and up in the air is okay. And then from here, planting the stance leg into the ground firmly. And then I'm going to pull this leg into a figure 4 position But again, to do that and avoid rotating out of it, you have to stabilize with the glute and hamstring on this side. So going all the way out, squeezing the butt and the hamstring while you bring the thigh forward. So real strong contraction at the top of this motion. And if you want more of a challenge, step further away. And you can also go slow at first, and then you can start building into some speed to make it a little bit more challenging with the speed of contraction on the stance leg. Now the final glute exercise is not really often thought of as a glute exercise, but for running, we want to train the glutes to propel us forward, keep the momentum going forward. But another big job of the glutes is to prevent us from sinking too far into the ground. The more we sink into the ground, the more our joints, the more our muscles have to absorb force, and that can lead to overuse injuries, especially the longer the race is. So we're actually going to do a farmer's carry. So the point of the farmer's carry is when you're holding onto the weight wants to pull you down. So you have to resist that by standing nice and tall. So you want to picture like a rope is on the top of your head, trying to pull yourself towards the ceiling, and then you're going to pull the shoulders up just a bit to match the weight of the dumbbells that you're holding. You can also do this with a kettlebell, you can also do it with sandbags. So once you're in this position, you're actually going to walk around. So you can walk back and forth, you can do loops at the gym, you can do loops in a grassy area, whatever it is. But even just standing, holding the weight, and marching in place is going to be a good challenge to the core and to the glutes. So every time I'm bringing this leg up, the stance leg is working hard through the hip and my core to keep me in an upright position. And you're going to do this for time. So starting off, you might just do it for about 30 seconds. You work your way up all the way to a minute or so and do several rounds of this. And as you're doing it, if you're marching in place, you don't want to wobble side to side too much. Just trying to stay nice and stable the entire time. And it should be challenging. I'm really doing this right now and I'm starting to get a little fatigued, starting to sweat a bit. And I'm using about 50 pounds in each arm. And like I was saying when I was doing the farmer's carry, you want it to be a challenge. When I work with runners and they say they are doing a farmer's carry, and I say, okay, great, how much? And these are relatively fit runners, and they say, oh yeah, I hold 10 pounds in each arm and I do it for about a minute or so, and I set it down. It's like, well, is that challenging? And most of the time they say, well, no, not really. So try to use as much weight as you feel comfortable with starting off, but then by the time you get to that 30-second, 60-second mark, you should be feeling like, okay, I'm feeling a strong challenge from that exercise. So now we're going to talk about a running drill that I find really effective at bringing the awareness between your brain and the glutes and the backside of your body while you're actually running. So all the strengthening exercises are great to improve the strength of those muscles, and these ones in particular will help you get that strength in a standing position, trying to propel your body more forward. But we want to still incorporate some drills to make it a little more applicable to running itself. So the drill that I like is one that I call puddle jumping or puddle jumpers. So the idea with it is that you're going to picture a puddle, some water in front of you, and you don't want to step in it. So to do that, you have to hop over the puddle. And so when you do this, I recommend sticking on one leg at a time, and then you do the puddle jumping for about 50 yards or so. And then after 50 yards, then just go into a jog for another 100, 200 yards, and then repeat it. And then when you come back, do 50 yards on the other leg, and then run again. So after you do the drill and you go into the run, you're just trying to think, okay, I just did my right leg, I'm running, am I feeling my glute contract the way that I did when I was doing the puddle jumper? So again, you're trying to hop over a puddle, and you keep repeating that. And starting off, it's okay if you need to just take a break between each one, but you're trying to contract the glutes to bring yourself forward. As you get used to it, you can get a little more rhythm with it, and you can go a little faster. I'm doing obviously really short steps right now, just so I can stay in the camera view, but you can try to elongate the stride each time. And then with further practice, and you got a good hang of it, then you can alternate legs where you're doing multiple puddles at a time. So then you're just getting a strong contraction on one side, strong contraction on the other side. So that is a really good way to start bringing some more attention while you're actually moving, while you're actually running. And that's gonna make a little bit more of a permanent result in being able to recruit your glutes while running. Okay, I'm a little tired from this video, but if you have any questions, please comment in the section below. I'm always happy to answer your questions. If you have any other ideas or suggestions for content, I'm always looking for new ideas so I can make videos on those as well. I want to make videos that are a little bit more personalized for the viewers of our channel. So any recommendations you have, please leave that in the section below. And until next time, see you guys on the next video.